Good morning, students. Today we will continue with the chapter Responsibilities of a Good Citizen. Yesterday we understood what civics is all about. As the definition goes, it is the study of human rights and responsibilities of citizens, the governance and the environment in which a society is found. And we also studied why we study civics and what do we study in civics. We study our environment, governance and government, human rights and duties, social, cultural and economic development. Okay. Then we proceeded to civic sense. What is civic sense? What do we understand by civic sense? It is the social ethics or the unspoken social norms, maintaining roads and public property, avoiding vandalism, intolerance, inculcating moral values like kindness, compassion, non-violence, charity, etc. All this comes in civic sense. In other words, you can say that civic sense is the moral teachings which is given to a person, the morality that we have in us. That means giving importance to us, at the same time giving importance to all our fellow citizens as well. Then we moved on to citizen. Who is a citizen? A person who has the rights by virtue of being born in that country, or someone who has acquired the rights from the government, or a person who lives in a particular town or a city is a citizen. Then we also did ways to be a good citizen. That we need to be very active in our community. That means we need to participate in our community. We need to participate in all community development programs. That we need to be honest and trustworthy. We should never do any kind of dishonest activities. We should never do any dishonest work, so that we are always law-abiding citizens. Respect the rights and property of others. It is not that we should be aware of our own right. We should be aware of other people's right as well. And we should also respect the property of others. It's not that we should indulge in vandalism and break the property or destroy the property of somebody else, whether it is our neighbor or it is the government property also. We need to be compassionate, not just towards our fellow citizens, but also towards every human beings. Then be a good neighbor and take responsibility of our actions. We need to protect the environment and be informed about the world around us. We need to protect the environment also. It's very important, student, that we should contribute in reducing the pollution level in our country. And we need to, everywhere in the world, throughout the world, the problem of pollution is there. And therefore, we should also do our level best in reducing the pollution. So now we come to importance of good neighbor. Okay. In case of importance of good neighbor, students, a good neighbor makes everyone comfortable. I'm sure all of you will agree that if you have a good neighbor, then you live a very happy life. You're always there to share your happiness, your sorrows, because neighbors are our immediate friends. They are willing to help each other and have a friendly relationship. And they're very important because they provide immediate help. See, in times of difficulty, in times of need, the person who reaches first to your doorstep is your neighbor. Much before your relatives or much before your near and dear ones would come, the neighbor is always the first one to arrive for help. And therefore, it is very important that you have a good neighbor, that you maintain a good relationship with the neighbors. Now we find responsibilities of a good citizen. Every citizen has some role and responsibility towards the nation of the country. All of us, as citizens, we need to perform our duties towards our country. And there are basically two duties in the which comes in the responsibility of a citizen. First is participation in election, and second is in terms of importance of voting. Participation in elections, because students, election is held in all democratic countries to elect a government, isn't it? Excuse me. Every democratic country holds election, and election is very much an important part of a democratic country. In countries which does not have elections, you can say that they are not considered as a democratic setup. They are either ruled by a dictator, or there is monarchy, or there is some other form of government. But otherwise, in a democratically elected countries, the election holds a very big important position. And so citizens are given voting rights for the same, which they should exercise. You will find students a number of times when there is elections, people stay away from voting. They don't go out to the polling booth and vote, sometimes because out of laziness, sometimes because they don't bother to vote, thinking that what difference does one vote make. There are a number of time people take this as a very casual thing and they don't go out to vote. But this is not right. Everyone, whoever is above the age of 18 years, should exercise their vote. Importance of voting. Every citizen, whoever is above 18 years of age, our country has given them the right to vote. It is a basic human right, and it gives us the right to choose our representative. If we, for a moment, if we are not satisfied with the government that we have right now, we ourselves are to be blamed. If we are happy with the government right now, we should be happy with ourselves because we are the ones who chose this government. The representatives who are there in the government right now, those representatives were elected by us. And therefore, it becomes all the more important that we give our vote. We should vote responsibly. Responsibly means we should try and choose the correct person and exercise our vote because it gives us a sense of empowerment. This is one power which is in the hands of the general public. If a contestant who is standing in election is not a right candidate, if he is a corrupt one or he uses unscrupulous means to win election, then it is in the hands of the citizen that they can either choose him or they can vote against him. So this gives us a sense of empowerment. And if we do not vote, our vote will go waste or it can be misused through bogus voting. A number of times we hear that in a particular area there was very less polling. That means very few people came out to vote. And because very few people came out, there was bogus voting over there. That means people use fraudulent methods, fraudulent means to cast the vote. So the person who is chosen from that locality or from that area will not be a person who is represented by all. So if we do not exercise our vote in the right manner, then others are going to take advantage and maybe a wrong person will be elected from that place. So this is the responsibility of a good citizen, that we should participate in election and we should exercise our voting rights as well. Next we come to care for public and private property students. What do we understand by the public property and what do we understand by the private property? Now, public property means property which are common to all of us living in the society, which is given to us by the government. Property is created from the taxes that we pay. All of us, the tax paying public, we give our contribution in the form of tax to the government, and the government uses this tax in the maintenance and in the making of these public properties. So no individual can claim ownership over these properties. Example, library, roads, place of worship, public transport and all. So there's so many public property which we have, and we should take care of these public properties. A number of times you will find that there was some fight going on between two groups, and all of a sudden they set ablaze the public bus which was standing over there, or that they destroyed a public building over there. So this is very wrong because we need to take care of our public property, even though it does not personally belong to us, but it is definitely ours because we are paying taxes for it. Then comes private property. Things like book, pencil, house, which we buy from our income is called as private property, and nobody can use it without our permission. It strictly belongs to us. We have paid for it. So that will be called as private property. Then we come to students, school property, parks, public transport, and all. You can say that in case of uh, private property, there is school property as well. School provides facilities to both children and teacher, so therefore we should keep the property clean. You will also agree that we should not scribble on the school walls or scratch the desk. We should keep it clean, always throw the waste or litter in the dustbins, switch off the fans and lights of a classroom when not in use. And the playground of the school should always be kept clean. It is not that we can play over there, eat our lunch over there, and then make the place dirty. Because even though it is a private property, but the children and the teachers who are going to school, they should consider it as their own and take care of the property as they would take care of their own property. Then we come to parks. This is an example of public property. Now, parks, you must have seen that people of all ages enjoy exercising, walking, playing in the parks. There are flowers and green plants, benches, fountains there in the park for our recreation. Therefore, we should take care to not to litter in the parks, and we should follow rules if any. A number of times there are certain rules that you should walk your pet on a particular side, or you should take them in a particular direction, or that the pets are not allowed in the parks at all. Whatever be the rules and regulation, we need to follow that. We should always leash our pets and then walk them inside the park, but only if the rules allow it. So we need to be extra careful about using the public property, even if it does not belong to us literally, but since we are using it, we should take care of the public property as well. Then we come to public transport. Public transport is the property of public. We have the buses and trains as the public property, and we should always buy tickets before boarding. You must have heard, students, some number of times where people do not pay for their tickets and they travel without ticket, which is very wrong. We need to be very careful about this. We need to keep the railway platform, bus stands, airports, all the area should be kept clean. So many of us are using that place, and so many of us are using the public property. It is very important that we keep it clean, that we should not dirty or damage the public transport. Then we find monuments. Monuments and historical buildings are very important to us because they are a representation of the past. They are our heritage. Some people damage the walls by writing their names on it, sometimes they spit on it, and they litter around. But we need to take care of it. We have not built those. It has been built by our, you can say, the legacy, or you can say the rulers of the past have done it, and it is for our you can say it is our responsibility to take care of such monuments and such buildings. So we need to be extra careful, and since we are paying the tax also for the maintenance of it, it needs to be kept pure, clean, and we should make extra effort to keep the place clean. In case of in case of public library, public library is also the property of public. This is for the general public, from where the people borrow books and magazines, and we should never tear pages or deface their covers. A number of times it has been seen, students, that people, they borrow the books from there. When they have to just look through a few pages, then they would not note anything from there if there is a requirement. Rather, they would tear off the page and destroy the book as such. Many times we find that people, they write their own names in the public in the library books, and it becomes very difficult to actually maintain. So we should be very careful about how we use the public library. In case of hospital, and hospital is an institution actually providing medical and surgical treatment and nursing care for the sick and the injured people. It's very important that we maintain the decorum over there. It's very important that we maintain silence in the hospital, avoid visiting the hallways and the patient care areas, and we should always follow the hospital rules. If we are allowed to meet our near and dear ones in a particular time, then we should adhere to that time. We should. There are a number of times where people start fighting for some issue or the other, which should be avoided. It is that place where perfect silence has to be maintained for the benefit of all. Place of worship. A place of worship is specially designed structure where individuals or a group of people come to perform acts of devotion. It could be a temple, it could be a temple like place where there is no deity as such, but there are several places like this, several places of worship, and we should respect the culture of such places. Silence should be maintained while we are offering our prayers, and we should never scribble or write or destroy the premises. A number of times you would find students that the temple is a very beautiful architecture, and some insane person has scribbled his name on the walls. It is actually very, very disheartening to see such kind of behavior on the part of people. So you can say, student, that these are the responsibilities of a good citizen. If we really want to be a good citizen of our country, we need to pay attention. We need to participate in election. We need to vote during the election. Take care of the public places. Take care of the private places. Rather, we should take care of the public places the way we take care of the private places. So much for today, students. I hope it is clear by now. Okay. Thank you.